headed back to their table to sign after this, so if you didn't have time for your questions, hang out with them later. Let's get some questions.
First off, thanks so much for being here. This is awesome. One of the best parts about Back to the Future, I think, is the hidden meanings in the movie. I think there are many hidden meanings. Standing up to bullies, the importance of having the right mindset, having the right vehicle in life, you can go anywhere. What would you guys say is like the main takeaway, the main meaning that you got from the film?
The main meaning of the film.
Love can conquer all and last through any time continuum.
I like it. I like it.
Hi, Claudia. It's such a thrill to see you with the rest of the cast.
Can you stand up? Can you stand up, please?
That was very strange. Was it strange?
You're such a jewel, and it's such a rarity to see you with the cast, and I totally love it. So hopefully we'll see more of you. But I have two quick questions. First question is, did you get the role maybe because your last name is Wells? And then the second question, H.G. Wells. And the second question is, what do you think of Elizabeth Shue's performance in part 2 and 3? I'd like to know.
Great questions. Well, my birth name is actually Heinemann. I became Wells when I was 11 and had to decide what name to put on a TV show, and my mom and I were driving by Wells Fargo Bank, and she goes, Claudia Wells, that sounds good, and I was like, okay. But my birth name is Heinemann. I don't think that had anything to do with it. And then the second question is, I was so honored that they cast Elizabeth Shue as my character. I think she's brilliant. And if anyone hasn't seen Leaving Las Vegas, y'all have to see it. She was nominated for an Academy Award. And it actually weirdly makes sense that they cast her because Adventures in Babysitting was down to her, me, and Phoebe Cates. And I thought for sure I was going to get it because I've been a professional babysitter since I was 7. But the fact that they thought of us so similarly years before, and then she got cast, I thought I was flattered. I thought, cool.
Hi, Tom. Sorry, a little nervous here.
What is your name?
I'm Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
Excellent, Josh.
My question for you is, and you went over how you kind of found that external motivation for Biff and being a bully and stuff, but did you find it even more challenging because you played so many versions of Biff and Griff? You've got modern day 1985 Biff, you've got 55 Biff, you've got Tycoon, Mafia Biff, Griff, Old Man Biff.
I had a lot of things.
You had a lot going on there. And I think you're the only one that had so many versions of your character throughout timelines. Did you find it? And obviously they're all bullies and stuff, but there's definitely subtle differences as a viewer that you can see between all three of them, which is a testament to your skill and talent. But did you find it difficult to? Oh my God, how am I going to play this many versions of this character and still have the same,
Yeah, I'll try to make it as short and brief as I can. When we got the script for Back to the Future 2 and 3, it wasn't Back to the Future 2 and 3. It was Back to the Future 2, and it was called Paradox. And it was like that thick. And they just thought, we'll make Back to the Future 2, and we understand that some of this stuff can't live, but we're going to write the whole thing. Go to the West, all that stuff. And then it became Back to the Future 2 and 3. But when I received the script that thick for Paradox with all of these characters, I received it like late in the afternoon. I started looking through it and seeing all these different characters, and I had like a little bit of dinner because I lost my appetite, and I went to bed. Laying down in bed like, what? But like an external or internal approach to Biff in the first movie, I had to unlock how to do this. What we have in our arsenal to make things somewhat the same family member, yet different. So you have your voice, you have your posture, you have the way you move, and the way you hold your jaw. For example, like Biff is a rooster, like this, moving his head even. Hey, McFly! Like. So you have that kind of action, right? All the way to the third one, Or you have Buford, so it's like a slouch like this, and like just loosen my jaw. And it fly! Like that. So you have all these, so it was actually finding physical traits in each one to concentrate on, and then in the script, I had to go to different color highlighters for highlighting all the different characters, just to understand like which guy I was in what time frame. And then in order to memorize the scenes with myself, I would have, I still have them, 3x5 cards of all the characters, all highlit in the color that I would have in my pocket, because I had to act with myself. I had to act half the scene, giving myself the time that I thought I might act on the other side. And then everyone would go to lunch. I would go have the old man makeup taken off, young man makeup put on, everyone comes back to work, and I have to act the other side of the scene in those spots, in those gaps, with the director in an earbud thing, in a radio, because he's watching my earlier performance, like where I am in the set. So I'm doing all those scenes, and in my ear, I'm hearing, move your head more to the left, a little bit, stay right there, walk toward the car, like that, as I'm acting it. So, yes, it was very challenging, and like I said, man, it's the big leagues, so you got to figure it out and swing,
Woo! Got about time for 5 more minutes.
I have a question for Christopher Lloyd and Thomas Wilson. You two have done voice acting before. What was it like doing voice acting in cartoons and stuff?
Voice acting in
Do you enjoy
cartoons.
voice acting in cartoons?
Yeah,
and things?
what's that
Voice work?
Yeah,
What's it like?
and what was the question?
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I guess if you're only using your voice, because your character is going to be drawn and painted and all that, so you're just giving the voice. So I find that in front of a mic, and say you're doing kind of an emotional scene, I get very physical about it. I kind of, are you get out? I just sort of go to town, and that, and because I need to do that to make the words, to make what I'm saying believable. It's gonna have the intensity and or the humor or the whatever, So it's not just going there and reciting the words. You gotta put a lot of kind of work into it.
There's a towel inside the little studio that I use at my house, and that's because I break a sweat. Because it's working hard, because you're doing all this sort of action and passion and energy, but you're concentrating it into one little microphone in front of you. So, there's that, and like Chris said, I always wear a watch band and not bracelet, because I'm whipping my hands around so much that if things make noise, they click and clack, and you can't be, so I can move my arms, and I can, like that. So, but, man, I love it. I think, I'm biased, because I'm still working at Nickelodeon, on SpongeBob, on the Patrick Star Show, on Disney some, Spider-Man, I'm Sandman on that. But I've been a part of that SpongeBob family for 25 years. And now it's such shorthand. It's still, we improvise the script, we have a lot of fun, we know each other, and it's just wonderful in that way, because doing stand-up comedy, doing improv a long time ago as I did, it's wonderful to still be a part of such an active and creative community like that. So man, I love it. I'm no longer playing grizzled police captains in bad cop shows. That's okay. I did enough of that, thank you. But free snacks still on TV. But I'm enjoying very much working in animation still.
Excuse me for interrupting. Who are you on SpongeBob?
I'm many things. I'm Reg, the bouncer at the Salty Spittoon. Welcome to the Salty Spittoon. How tough are you? I'm Flats the Flounder. SpongeBob, I'm gonna kick your butt. I'm the Tattletale Strangler. I'm Sticky the Cowboy. I'm a lot of things. I'm Victor, bartender at the Thug Tug. All bubble blowing babies will be beaten senseless. So I do a lot of different things.
Aren't you so glad I asked?
I'm Patrick's dad. I'm both. Patrick has two dads, a fake dad and a real dad. I'm both of them.
Got time for one more quick question, then I'm headed back to their table.